Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Experience the latest rage of how you can have people on the internet talking about video games right here. Welcome everyone to August of 1982. We're closing out the end of summer, so now's your chance to let me know what games we've missed before the summer is over. We were last on the Commodore VIC-20 playing Vic-Min, and I'm still getting chills. I don't want to play Vic-Min ever again. Let's press forward and see our next game. It's time to go to the arcade to play Victory. I am so excited to show this one off. We got some really fun arcade games this episode, starting with Victory. Here's the ad you would have seen, well, at least operators would have seen for Victory. This is by Exidy. We haven't seen Exidy for a while. I really miss them. I've been wanting to play some games by Exidy. Victory, that's the game everyone's talking about. Oh, really? Everyone, huh? The colors are amazing. Everything is so sharp and clear. It's so real. Let's see, the screen is like looking out a window with a full world view at the bottom of the screen. And fuel, shield, speed. Altimeter must be indicators. I want to try this game out. Let's see, here's the coin. What a bizarre ad. As if you're going up to the arcade. Let's talk about it. And then we have another one that you would have seen. This one is a blatant ripoff of Star Wars. We got the snow speeder over on the right side. Very nice touch. Exidy is they do this all. They've already done this. They've literally ripped off Star Wars with some other arcade games. So it's no surprise that there's a snow speeder on the game for Victory. But in the game, you don't look that way at all. It's just the ad, trying to get more people to buy it for your arcade. Victory is the beginning of a new realm of high sophistication in video games. We have player difficulty level, vanity table, lighted control panel, the track wheel, which I guess that's a way of saying a spinner or a knob. We have thrust, the doomsday device. We have shields. Complete speech in the game. For the first time, startling clarity. So they're saying or boasting that this game's going to talk better than all the other arcade games out there. It also has battery backup memory, operator's convenience package. Look at all this. So many things from Exidy. Now, usually we rate the games on just the gameplay itself, sound and graphics and so forth. But we also rate the games on the technicality. Because we started since the beginning, 1971, playing every video game. We also rate these games on how much they're moving forward technologically to make games more impressive. And this one is a big leap. So there's the example of the arcade cabinet. That is a terrible picture of the arcade cabinet, but the control panel, you can see what we control this. You have a spinner that spins the ship around. We have a shield button. We have the thrust and fire, and then we also have a doomsday button. Really cool, kind of reminiscent of a lighter button control panel than what you see with Defender. So it's the idea with lots of buttons to mess around with, but this one controls and plays a little bit like Asteroids, spinning your ship around. Yeah, look at that. Lots of controls, rotating left and right. There's the arcade marquee for Victory, still doing the snow speeder. Love that. Nice touch. With an example of the screenshot. So we have a manual. The manual is the operator manual. We got a little bit of artwork in here, which is kind of nice by Exidy. Let's see if they tell us about the game itself. Operation, accounting, attract mode. If we scroll past all of this, this is the test information, diagnostics, a lot of technical information that we've seen before, but it does tell us about the game. Players with their battle stations. And then there's all the settings for the buttons, free play, demonstration mode. After you go through the free play, the high score table remains whenever you play, which is a nice touch. And then total coins, 1 and 2 player games. Yeah, there's a lot of info here. This is a very technical arcade cabinet. I feel sorry for the people that had to set it up. So after you deposit a coin, you push 1 or 2 player to begin play as the cadet on the Battlestar, the most maneuverable spaceship in the universe. Your mission is destroy all enemy ships. Some enemy ships add to the challenge by dropping paratroopers to the ground where they release the lethal quarks. Quarks, they're locked up in the land bunkers. Once freed, the quarks head straight for the Battlestar. At his defense are unlimited bullets, the doomsday device, which kills all enemies seen out the cockpit window, and a shield that protects the Battlestar from all threats for 3 seconds. So we got doomsday, we got shield, and the fuel supply are limited. So we actually have to fill up on fuel, a la like Scramble, but doesn't play like Scramble. 3 doomsday devices, 4 shields are given in the outset. After all enemies in a squadron have been destroyed, points are awarded for each quark not released, and the cadet is promoted to a flyer with new world to defend. So this one goes from world to world, so it gives you another way to see something new in the game. Really cool touch. Further promotions from flyer to squadron leader to wing commander to ace. Wow, we could be wing commander if you wanted to. And there's another manual that I couldn't find. You can see it says detailed play information on how to master Victory, a pilot's guide to game strategy, but I'm not able to find this. So if anyone knows where this manual that came with the operator manual, let me know. In the meantime, this one was available in 2 different versions. We're going to play the first one, just Victory. This is at, actually, I'm going to show you the first part, because when you step into the arcade cabinet, this is by Exidy. Howell, Ivy, and Vic Ptolemy did this at some time in the summer of 1982. So I want to show this first. This is the boot up, and this shows you what it looked like around the CRT to play Victory. It isn't really flashy. You can see it's pretty simple, a blue screen, and then down at the bottom they show you your controls, what they do. The object of the game is destroy the enemy and paratroopers before they release the quarks from the land bunkers, and then it gives you a little bit of strategy. So it's typical, but kind of boring. So I'm going to change this up. We're not going to play using that view. I'm actually going to show you a really cool one that'll zoom it in a little bit for us too. So here we go. Time to boot up and play some Victory. I don't know if we're going to have Victory playing the game. If you've tuned in and saw us play Defender in the arcades, it was a kill fest. We were just dying all over the place. So we'll see what happens here. Imagine being in the arcade as an operator and you're first booting up and setting up this game for the very first time. One of the most technically impressive video games, at least from a hardware standpoint, that you could play. And it's possible this was released earlier. This could have been... Oh, they give us a little sound test. Nice. This could have been earlier in the, even slightly before the summer. And we only got voice audio and going into track mode already. Nice. We're going to see Victory later on the ColecoVision, besides this one. So inside of this are multiple processors and multiple audio and voice chips. So hardware technicality through the roof. All right, so let's do this.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good luck. Get ready. Player 1.
All right, I'm ready. Got all our controls, so I have my spinner to move left and right. There's my thrust and unlimited firepower. Hear the sound, though. We have sound effects coming from the gun. We have multi-layered music that's playing in the background. A really nice track of music, too. I am just flying around, and you can see at the bottom of the screen, there's a radar very similar to Defender that's showing where the enemies are. The paratroopers are represented by red. We got 8 quarks left, and there's a quark right here. I can't get to it, but if a paratrooper gets to it, then it'll release it, and there you go. A quark just killed me.
Player 1.
We're only cadet level. But play control is very similar to Asteroids, that I can move around. I have a thruster button and a fire button, but we do have extra ones, you know, like I have my shield.
Up. 3, 2, 1.
Wow, and counts down right when my shield runs out. Then I blow up.
1.
And then we also have, let me see if I can get some more enemies on the screen. There's a few over here. We use the Doomsday device and just explodes everybody on the screen. Fantastic. But you can see we are scrolling freely across the world. We have, I think, a little bit wider screen than the radar shows. So it's not just doing a loop of the screen. If you look at the mountain at the bottom. Okay, yeah, it's about the same size of the screen. Oh, gotta get our fuel filled up. Let me move closer to the surface here. Don't run out of fuel. Well, the quarks got me.
Congratulations. You have made the top 10 player list.
Wow, the voice is so clear. It's honestly similar to other ones we've seen. I would give it just a notch clearer than the other games on the arcade you could play.
Over.
Yeah, the way that they split between space and the ground is really nice. But I mean, hear the music. Up to this point, it's August 1982. I would argue that one of the best music tracks we've seen for any video game across all systems, all consoles, was from the Reactor game, where they're playing like this metal or rock soundtrack. That one was fantastic. This one for Victory by Exidy is really close as one of the best musical songs we've ever seen. And notice that it's playing it at different parts of the game, which is a nice touch. Stop the paratroopers from releasing the deadly quarks. You go on yellow alert if your fuel is low. Wow. Yes, eventually they will get to Chiller. I just happened to look over in the chat and see Victor. Nice. Yeah, the voice samples are a notch clearer, but I wouldn't say anything incredibly impressive.
Thank you.
Everything's talking to us now. Arcade games, computers, consoles.
Good luck. Get ready.
We're not going to see handhelds talk to us for a long time. Oh yeah, now let's actually play some. So there's the paratroopers. Take them out. Oh, you got a quark loose. Got him. Okay, good. Wow, but the incoming fires so fast. You can see another one's over here. There's our paratrooper. These fast flying, it looks like cats that are red in the sky. But just like Defender, you're having to keep an eye on the radar and the main screen. There is a lot to see and play. This feels like a very different experience for all the other arcade games we've seen. Just because there's so much going on. It is truly a combination of Asteroids and Defender. Let's see if we can get our fuel before... Emergency. And they're talking to us more than the IntelliVoice on the Intellivision. Oh, gosh.
Get ready, player 1.
And it's a very different control scheme. Asteroids was just using buttons, and some of the other games we play have only used buttons, like Omega Race. You're not using a spinner to control, so it feels... It feels even more technical. You have, I believe, 256 different places that you can move around. And man, considering the other games we played on home computers that are programmed in BASIC, and they have tile-based programming, so it's very, very choppy. This feels like a dream come true. All right, so we got one more enemy. Come at me, man.
Yellow alert. Yellow alert.
All right, we got more of them come down here.
Load fuel.
Oh, and you can crash into the sides, almost like you're playing Lunar Lander.
The top 10 player list.
I love that you can use the spinner to put your initials in. And it works really well.
Game over.
So amazing. Yes, that's true. I agree, Manly. Yeah, we haven't heard Sinistar yet. And that's true. That Sinistar will up the ante on the game's talking to you and it scares you. Man, I'm loving the music. Yeah, this one and Reactor. I don't know, what do you think of this and Reactor? You say Reactor still is the best music for video games?
Thank you.
We've heard of some good tracks on the Atari 800, but man, the arcade is hitting some really good ones. You gotta avoid incoming missiles. In a way, it's also because of the fuel supply, very similar to Scramble. The way things coming up from the bottom missiles are attacking us.
Get ready.
Wow.
Player 1.
Oh, and I like that too. Yeah, whenever you play, you get better at realizing what's coming in on the radar, because the rabbit-looking things, whatever those red things flying at us, they come in really, really fast. You can see right there.
Get ready. Player 1.
They're ready to destroy you. And this first world is, after you clear this one away, then you move to the next one and you move up in rank. And so it gives you the idea that I want to keep seeing what the next world is to raise my rank up. Alright, let's see if we can take out... I need to get some fuel. There it is. Build me up. There's so much on the screen. It's awesome. So I got another paratrooper that dropped in. Yes, take them all out.
Enemy Squadron 1 destroyed.
Yes, victory is yours.
You are now a flyer. Get ready.
All right, we ranked up to flyer. Another cool reason to play. How high can you get your rank? Oh, and we get double shots now. Oh man, now I really want to keep playing the game. How long can we last?
Congratulations.
And I've died. Got farther that time, but I want to see what other happens with power-ups. How far can we go? Man, that's so much fun.
Game over.
And it's even playing music on the attract mode.
Thank you. Good luck. Get ready. Player 1.
I don't know how I dodged that one. But you want to do a combination of everything you have.
1. Shield down.
There's a lot to pay attention to as well. I got a court coming at me. That was close.
Shield up. Warning. 2. Yellow alert. Shield
Alright, gotta get to the fuel. Take out a... Oh, and I ran into the radar.
Player 1.
think radar helps us from being smashed into the side too, right? Wow.
Shield up. 3, 2, 1. Shield down.
Oh, they're releasing several quarks coming at us.
Yellow alert.
Too much fun. Way too much fun. All the firepower you get is a blast. Okay, they've done it again. It's another arcade game that I don't want to stop playing. If I had an infinite amount of money, I would just continue to keep playing. This is not a pay-to-play arcade game. Notice that every time that we put more quarters in, there is no continue. It just starts back at the beginning, and then you're trying to see how far you can get your rank up, but once your rank goes down, you don't take over on the next planet. That's it. Alright, let's see if we can get down.
Warning,
There's another
low
one.
Fuel.
Die!
Shield warning. Low C3. 2. Emergent 1. Emergency.
Uh-oh, we're not doing good. Where's the fuel?
Auto fuel. Get ready. Player 1.
Yeah, I'm with you. It could be a lot of quarters for sure.
Auto shield. Animate Squadron 1. Destroy.
There we go. Victory is yours.
Congratulations. You are now a flyer. Get ready. Flyer 1.
And as usual, if it's a game that's this impressive, you feel like you're getting better every time, or you want to get better every time. Let's see, where is everybody? Oh, my doomsday device. Oh, it's out.
Congratulations.
I didn't pay attention to the
have
side.
made
So you see my scores getting
top
higher and higher the
player
longer we
list.
play during this session, and that's exactly what would happen in the arcade. You'd want to best your score from you had before. Man, so much fun.
Game over.
Game over. That is really good. Of all the arcade games we played, Victory is way up there. It is definitely one of the best arcade games you could play up to this point. 4.5 or 5 stars easily. I already looked over in the chat and saw a few 4.5 stars. 4.75, yeah. This game, the complexity could turn some people away because combining Asteroids and Defender gets even more complex, especially when you're using a spinner, so there's more nuance. This is definitely a game for professionals or ones that people that want to be really good at a game that offers more controls than other games out there. I don't want this game to be missed. This is one that should be in every arcade for everyone to experience, so I'm going to have to go 5. Of all the arcade games at this point, this is one of the best. It's tops. Victor's going 4.5. Yeah, I don't know why. We are going to see some later ones on the ColecoVision, but for arcade, I really need to have this one at high marks. It's fantastic. Play it for yourself and experience it yourself. All right, with that, let's see what our next game is. After going from the arcade, let's go back to the home computer. This is the brand new Commodore 64, and this is Viking.
There's a new personal computer from Commodore.
And actually, before we move on, I forgot about one more thing.
Commodore 64.
There's one more thing with Victory, and that is there's another version they released later called Victor Banana. And I just wanted to show you just briefly what this looks like. They modified the game where it's pretty much the same thing, but they changed all the sprites and characters. So Victor Banana was released later, and I don't know if anyone had any how widespread this was, or if anyone knew about Victor Banana, but it's I can explain that Exidy was a little bit more obscure than the other big titles out there like Taito and Sega and Atari, and so I'm sure that this one most people didn't even know about. It's already loading it up. You can see the dates displayed there. Sounds the same. They're doing the same sound test.
Units test pass.
Just one more thing. There you go. So you can see
Thank you.
we're playing the game, but it kind of looks
Player 1.
the same as it was before. I mean, look at this. They just switched up the characters. It's candy-based. We look more like a lollipop.
Yellow alert.
But this didn't get sent to me as if it was a hack. This was sent like this was an actual release. Victor Banana was a real released arcade game. So if it was a real released arcade game, there you go. If it wasn't, then that's why we'll just play it a little bit. All right, now we'll officially move on. Here we go. Time to go to the brand new Commodore 64. This is Viking. Viking is something we've already seen, and this version of Viking, we don't have a real box for, just a reconstructed one. We do have the inside sleeve, though. It's a simulation for 1 to 4 persons. Each begins as a landowner, and by farming their land, buying and selling land, expanding their fishing fleet, building onto the manufactory, increasing their population, equipping and trading more soldiers, and regulating their taxes. Each player tries to increase their economic power and rank until one becomes ruler over all. But beware of plagues, rats, raiders, revolts, bad weather, and other misfortunes that may lie on the road to success. So you can play with 4 people. It's alternate play, and this ad says it was $20. Buy Prickly Pear. We don't have the official box, but let's pop in and play some Viking. This is by Bill Nolan at some time in August 1982. We've already seen Viking on the Commodore VIC-20 and the Coco, and so here's the Commodore 64 version. Yeah. Keep the dad jokes coming, Manly. How many players do we want? Now, I'll go ahead and say we want 2, because it takes longer when you have more people. All right, we want level of play. Let's do a level 2. Who lives in Oslo? Chrono lives in Oslo. Chrono, are you man or woman? Last time I checked, I'm man. Who lives in Viborg? Last person in chat was Marshall. So Marshall lives in Viborg. I don't know who you are, but the demographic of my viewers is mostly man, so I'm going to say, Marshall, you're a man. So now it's Chrono's turn. It's going to give us our stats. Storekeeper tells us then that Norway rats ate 50% of your stored grain. Darn those rats. He says he needs more ferrets to control the rats. Okay, thanks for the heads up. How many people are born and died? We gain 2 people. So it's going through the stats, just like we've seen with the other Viking game. Which boats we own. We have 2 guards whose totals, okay, it's giving us more information. We have a total of 2 ferrets. Wow, what a world we live in the Viking world. Now it gives us our options. Do we want to buy grain, sell grain, or continue? Let's go ahead and buy some grain. How much do you want? Let's do 20. So there's our grain. I'll go ahead and continue. Next is, what do we want to buy next for investments? Well, they said we got to buy more ferrets, so let's buy more ferrets. I'll buy another one and another one, and then I am done. And then it shows our symbols for what everything represents: the boat, the market, armory, and temple. Hitting the key to continue. Chrono's finished with the tax information showing the total amount of money or any changes we want to make, and then press G to go on. And then provide the people with a subsistence level diet. You have to distribute at least 1440 distribute. So how much do you want to distribute? Let's do 1,500 bushels of grain. And now my turn is done. Now Marshall's up as Marshal of Viborg. Storekeeper tells us that Norway rats ate 19% of your grain. What's going on there? You didn't get as much eaten than I did. And then how many people bored? How many people died? And then which boats we have, guards. And so you go through all your stats. He's got 2 ferrets, just like I do. And then now you make the decision how much grain you want to buy. Let's go ahead and buy some more grain. Let's buy 1,000 grain. And continue on. I think Marshall will be making better decisions than I will. And then now we can do investment possibilities. Let's go ahead and buy a boat. That takes us down a lot. And let's buy 5 guards. And then continue. And then it breaks down the stats, or it shows this screen. This will be your equivalent of looking at what you have, but right now we really don't have too much. And then Marshall shows the taxes. To make any changes on that, we'll go ahead and say G to go on. And then we have to distribute at least 1,450. So let's go ahead and do 2,500 bushels of grain. And then there's the standings. It shows the competition between Chrono and Marshall as who's going to be the better Viking. Press any key to continue. And then we have the more information about our thralls, seamen, and traders, nobles, and priests. And then begins the next turn. We did 1 whole year, so now it's the year 751. And then Chrono makes his decision, and that's how you play. This kind of game actually works well right now. I like the menu-driven game rather than having to type in different things to play a management simulation. So this is a very well done management simulation. This is the only management simulation that involves you being a Viking. So if you wanted to play or be a Viking in August 1982, this is the way to do it. And the Commodore 64 version is pretty much like the Commodore VIC-20 and the TRS-80 Coco. So I'm going to say, of all the games you could play, it's around average, 3 stars, considering everything you could play on all home computers right now. Yes, we haven't even touched the surface of the Commodore 64. There's so much to become of the Commodore 64. Let's see what our next game is. Time to go to one Commodore to another. Here's the Commodore PET, and this is Vortex. Vortex is a really interesting game. This is so hard to come by and so hard to find. This is not to be confused with Vortex on the Apple II. It's a completely different one. The enemy is at the center of swirling rings of energy. Your mission, penetrate and destroy. And it's also an ad for another game called Phantom Fighter. This is a company called Magic Carpet, which is really hard to come by. And not a lot of information about this company. This is one of the first female-owned game companies ever of all video gamedom. All I have for information on this game for Vortex is this ad, and that's it. There's nothing else. So we're going to pop in and play some Vortex by Kate Higby and Robert Carr at sometime in August 1982. Published by Magic Software. Magic Carpet Software. All right, so the Commodore PET, it says on the sides this is the 2001 series, but we're way beyond that. This is like the 4032 model that we're playing on right now. And the controls we're going to be using are 4 key to move left, 6 key to move right, and the shift key to fire. Hit any key to start. Here we go. We got a little cutscene, nice touch. Cool, I got firepower. Look at this. So I'm moving left and right. The character I'm playing on, I thought he was animating the walk movement when I was moving, but no, he's constantly running. But I can fire as much as I can. All the little shots that come down from the UFO are creating mini explosions that I gotta avoid, but I need to break through all the defenses and destroy the UFO at the top. It's getting close. Got it. There we go. Now, of all the games we played on the Commodore PET, the shooters like this are kind of few and far between. This is the shooting or fixed shooter genre is more of something we see on the TRS-80, but not really on the Commodore PET. But this one's done really well. The effect of the shield and the wave at the top is really, really cool. And even though we're playing this on the controller, this was working really, really well. I'm sorry, we're not playing this on the controller. We're only doing this on keyboard. It still is controlling really well. Moving left, right, and fire. Uh-oh, it's getting lower. This isn't good. It almost kind of makes me feel like we're playing Star Castle, breaking away the defenses slowly but surely. Yeah, there you go. Marshall hears me. But not in a circle. We're going... Oh yeah, the firepower though? The constant shots feel so much better than plain old Space Invaders, one shot at a time. Difficulty's getting just more and more progressively harder. Score's going through the roof! Okay, I thought it was gonna get lower and lower, but I guess not. Yeah, just keep mashing the fire button, you'll be alright. I can't imagine playing this on the original Commodore PET. The keyboard is so tiny. I feel like my finger would get stuck. Oh, I'm with you, yeah. If we were rating this on just Commodore PET, yeah, I'd give it a 5. It's a very good game for the Commodore PET. Well done. So what you see here is pretty much the entire game. There isn't any other modes, but from gameplay I've seen online, other people that have booted this up on actual Commodore PET, they never really got past this level, if there are other levels, anyway. Well, at least we can get a game over to see what happens, because we are surviving, at least. I'm avoiding the nuclear explosions pretty well. Just because the controls work so well, that's probably why I'm surviving this long. So there you go. Vortex on the Commodore PET. Of all the games you could be playing on a home computer, it's alright. For the Commodore PET, though, this is very impressive. We do not rate the games based on everything on this one computer, but I would still say around the average range for all shooters. It does well enough, and it kind of reminds you of something we'd play on the TRS-80. So I'd still say 3 stars of all the games you could be playing across everything on all computers. It's pretty cool. Mikey's already going 3.5, 4 for Victor. Wow. Yeah, you like the UFO personality? Extra star. Throw it in there. 4 overall for all home computers. Wow. Yeah. Limited platform. I'm with Manly on it. Yeah, the platform isn't holding up too well. Based on all the trinity of computers that started in 1977, the Commodore PET is the most lackluster one. TRS-80 and then Apple II. All right, let's see what our next game is. Time to go to the United Kingdom on the Commodore VIC-20. This is Warlock. Warlock is another one of the titles that's part of the Innovative Cassette 2 by Clifford Ramshaw. There were 7 games included in this cassette, so here we go. It's time to play Warlock at sometime in August 1982. After all the games we've seen on this cassette, I'm not getting high hopes for it. You've been transported somewhere in the Warlock's cave. What? I can barely see the text. Dark blue on black? This is bad. Live as long as possible gaining treasure and killing monsters. Please press any key. Okay, treasure, spells, strength, score. Okay, they're throwing slight role-playing elements in. We can go left, we can go right, or we can go straight ahead. They only give us 3 options. All right, let's go left. You can see a dumb-looking blue werewolf. He advances. Do we want to attack, retreat, or use a spell? Let's attack the werewolf. And we're dead. That's terrible. That is the fastest death. Are we done? Is that the... Yes, we're done. And you know what? That's all I'm going to do for Warlock. Warlock is a very, very simple menu-based, or menu, like commands. You pick from a few pieces of the menu. But it's extremely simple, and it's just not programmed very well. It is part of a compilation, so I'm going to have to go in between broken and bad. 1 star. We didn't take very long to play Warlock, but that's really all you need to play Warlock. Yikes. And the dark blue on black, not a good sign. Let's see what our next game is. Wow, too cool. Time to go to Japan and play on the Commodore Max machine. It's a Commodore kind of night, I guess. And this is Wizard of War. Wizard of War we first saw in the arcade in very late 1980. And since then, we've played it on the Bally Astrocade in August of 1982 with the Incredible Wizard. This is the very first computer version of the Wizard of War. Check out that front of the box. That almost looks unreal, like it's not a real front of the box. This is a legit scan. At this point, the Commodore Max machine, they realized that this system is not going to sell well. So every title now, they've been putting Commodore 64 and Max machine on the box, which is kind of funny. Nice touch, Commodore. There's the cartridge we're going to pop into place on Wizard of War. Oh, so cool. It is not going to look like this, though. It's going to look like that. We have 2 different versions. We're going to play the first one. This is by Dave Nutting Associates, published by Commodore Japan at sometime in August 1982. Wizard of War. So we can play on the keyboard with those controls. There's our points for all the characters. Oh, we can actually tell what the enemies are. And the wizard. Let's push our button for joystick and go. Yes. Nice. All right, we are in on the right side. The color scheme really isn't doing the most justice either. But it does have the feel of I'm playing Wizard of War. First impression, though, the Incredible Wizard on Bally Astrocade is the winner so far. Hey, that explosion looks really similar, like we've seen that on the Commodore Max machine before. Good gosh, it's already moving insanely fast. And killing me. And game over. It's another edition of Watch Me Die here on Chronologically Gaming. All right, let's do it again. Playing all the video games in order of release and having to memorize or figure out the controls for every single video game is a crazy task. I can't believe, how difficult this is. All right, let's try this again. It's slowly moving, but there's no animation. It feels like I'm floating, like my character. Look when I move to the left or right. And I'm also seeing, does it allow you to peer around the corners to see enemies? Because I don't see that. Oh. Well, I saw them as soon as I died. That one came around the corner way too fast. Yeah, Astrocade's way better than this one. What's really bizarre, though, is there's going to be a Commodore 64 version later, and the Max machine is essentially the Commodore 64, but with less memory. But it looks very different than this. It looks and plays more like the arcade, and I believe on the Commodore 64, you can play with 2 people. But not here. This is a single-player game. Wizard of War is 1 player only. We have played it on the Bally Astrocade, 2 players. Okay, we got an enemy coming at us. There we go. Let's see if we can take him out. I want to see the wizard. Where's the wizard? All right, got a bonus. Moving on to the next one. Let's see if we can survive. I don't know if we can. Yep, just like the arcade, you can only fire one shot before your second one will work. We do have enemies popping in that I don't think that was in the arcade. Oh, and they fire shots that you can't cancel out. So some of the enemy shots you can fire and they'll stop, but then some of the enemy shots, they fire under yours. Yeah, that was the best part of Wizard of War, the two-player at the same time, working together or competitively. Yeah, lackluster title, but if you consider the games we played on home computers, this is actually a pretty good time. It's a combination of a maze game like Pac-Man or top-down maze, and then we also have the shooting element to it. I still can't tell if they're letting us do that slight stealth mechanic, you know, that you can't see the enemies around the corner until you reach a certain point. Oh, man, so fast. We're doing an infinite number of game overs here. Wow. It is brutally difficult. Really what this game makes me think of is I just feel sad for the kid in Japan that had the Commodore Max machine. And he's playing this right now, and there's better ones. Well, there's only one better one out there, so there's not a whole lot of options for people that want to play Wizard of War at home. See, look at the AI. What's this enemy doing over here? In a way, it kind of feels like this is the perfect Commodore Max machine. It's like something's not quite right with this game. Something's not quite right with this computer. And I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is, but there's something that's not polished about this. Maybe it's because I'm not animating whenever I move. But it's still pretty good, if you want to think of what we've played so far. And for other games that you could be playing on a home computer, like other shooters. Man, they speed the stuff up so fast. I wonder if the version 2 changed some bugs on it. Wow. Gosh. That's a good point. It does look rushed. Yeah. All the way through, maybe a 3. This kind of experience, though, is pretty good. And you gotta admit, while the characters are unfair, or the... Oh, that worked. Just cancel out all the shots and keep going. Nice. The enemy spawn rate seems a little unfair, but it still is a good time considering everything else we've seen so far. Oh, but the music. They're using the SID chip to play 3 chords back to back. Wow. Nope, not gonna happen. Oh, wow. We're totally surrounded here. Yeah, still an okay game. If I could, I wouldn't give it exactly 3 stars. I'd give it like a notch above, but I still gotta say around the average range. I really would want to say 3.5. But if you think of all the other home computers out there, yeah, it's somewhere around the average range. Yes, good point. Why didn't they do that? Why are the colors the way they usually are? And there's lots of things that feel like it's not finished yet. So just for fun, let's do the second version 2. Does version 2 fix anything? Let's pop in the new cartridge and see if it does anything new. So far, title screen looks the same to me. I'm still not animated. I still have the same sound. Yeah, I'm not. It looks and plays the same as the first version at first glance. Can't tell. Yeah, I'll still have to keep it around the average range of all the games you could play on a home computer. Something's off about this, but it is the perfect game for the Commodore Max machine. I wonder if this was the killer app, because you couldn't play Wizard of War anywhere else. Alright, so after that, let's see what our next game is.
These families players are learning about home.
All right, time to go to the Atari home computer. This is Zardon. Let's take a look at Zardon. It is another game by Crystalware. This one's done by John Bell, I believe, and all we have is the ad by Crystalware. There is no official box for this one. There it is, Zardon. It cost $50 at the time. In the far reaches of space, an asteroid called Zardon. It is held by a fierce race of cyborgs, highly sophisticated androids. If they're highly sophisticated, they should know how to spell their name, right? This space rock is honeycombed with countless caves. In the center is the rare Simeon Jewel from the place of the Meshim on Mars. The passageways are guarded by banks of laser gunners, scramble fields, high-energy voyeurs, and to win, you must safely navigate your vessel to the center of Zardon and figure out how to get the jewel. And as far as artwork goes, that's all we got. Time to pop in and play Zardon. This is by John Bell and Winchell Chung, published by Crystalware at sometime in August 1982. All right, Zardon is going to be known later as a game called Vortex by Avalon Hill, and I think we're going to see that in 1983. But this is the first one. We kind of see this with Crystalware games. All right, are we in? Whoa, the game just starts. I didn't push start on the home computer or anything. There's no options. You just go. The game is in. All right, so I'm on the left side as the single ship, slowly moving up and down. I have a terrible fire. What is the... Look at my little my little lightsaber that pops out. That's my fire. Do I have anything else that is being used? No, that's all it is. We make our way into the magnesium mine. Fly over a little bit more to the right here. Let's see, can we shoot these mines? We can. Take those out. Nice. Very interesting, though. The 2D scrolling is kind of like Super Cobra and Scramble, but I'm not having bombs that I drop. But my shooting really is limited. It's not very strong. Look at this. I had a laser field to make my way through. Oh, did I get hit by a laser? I think I did. Because when you get hit by a laser, you just start right back at the beginning. Yep. If you die, you flash right back at the beginning because you're essentially a squadron of ships, and once one ship goes down, the other one takes over. And you continue on, and see if you die. There's no explosion. It's just flash right back to the beginning. But I want to see what's next. What happens after the magnesium mines? Let's keep going around here. Did it save the mine I exploded? It's the same one that I blew up last time, and it's gone still. I'm going to raise this up a little bit so we can... There we go. Get the sound effects. All right, we made it. It's very difficult to tell whenever you die, though. Because it just flashes you right back to the beginning again. All right, make our way up here. So now we have another area. So this is exciting. It's a 2D scroller, and it's changing up what you're going to experience. Like, what's going to happen? I don't know exactly how I can fly. Oh, you can. Okay, so you can touch the blue, but they go on the black. Got it. All right. Let's make our way here. This really isn't a shoot-'em-up like Scramble or Super Cobra. This is more like a dodge-'em-up. We're just dodging our way through. And you notice how the hit detection didn't work so well that time? It is saving, though, what we've exploded. So whenever you have another life, it really is like you're taking over where the other person left off. I bet it's going to be gone here, too. Yeah. So the game is saving your progress as if you were the next fighter that's going into the planet, trying to get to the center. Oh yeah, we haven't seen that game. Just gonna breeze right by that one. Oh, you can hold down the fire button. Okay, I see. But your fire is just that really tiny laser that fires in the front. So here you go, ladies and gentlemen, the very first dodge-'em-up rather than a shoot-'em-up. Because if this is my shot, I'm really not shooting very much. Very cool though, because if you do take some these mines away, then the next person, darn, I hit it again. Then the next person that goes will have an easier time. So that means I could take more of these out. And then every time you play, when you get, if you survive long enough, you make it easier for everybody else that plays. So cool. That's a good point, though. The checkpoints. When we play these in these kinds of games in the arcade, or even some of the games we played on home computer, they give you a checkpoint so that you can take over where you left off. And this means that we have to go through each section all over again. Very intriguing, though. I really love the idea that you're exploring a world from this perspective, and you have a goal in mind, and you're going to be seeing more than just the same screen over and over again. As far as shoot-'em-ups go, on the home computer, we haven't seen a lot of shoot-'em-ups that provide lots of levels, or lots of things to see. What? I was totally firing through that one. See, that makes me feel like it's a little bit glitchy, though. And this is the first version of the game. Later it's going to be released as a game called Vortex when Avalon Hill gets it. No, it was not. The Fantastic Voyage game we haven't seen yet, officially. We've seen some unofficial ones. Yeah, when it's not used, if it's not a shooter, it would throw you off because you're expecting to run around and shoot a lot of stuff. This one has to do with almost like you're doing puzzles. Firing, or not firing, you're like doing dodge puzzles with your ship. I think I picked the wrong path, and I should have done the bottom. Just make your way through. And I wonder if you can kill these aliens to make it easy for the next time. Hit detection is a little bit spotty, like with these mines. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through because it won't... See, it took out... Okay, never mind, it's working now. Kill all the mines! I love it. All right, so now we got another path. And then another one. Oh, yeah, so cool. To see what's next. Oh, look at this. I don't believe it. We're breaking. Whoa, and it has a little mesh to break through, too. Too cool. All right, so I'm going to rate this pretty much the same we're going to rate Vortex that comes out in 1983, too. Errol's going back to 2. I also like how this is different. It's not just a shooter, and it's encouraging you to play and get further in the game. Okay, I'll stop there. You can obviously tell it's a little buggy, but honestly, that's kind of what Crystalware does. Crystalware does buggy. That's kind of their thing. So I'm on board with this. I like the idea of seeing whatever's next. Thanks, Mikey. I got to go up on this because I'm going to rate the same as when they do get the bugs fixed, because Crystalware would sometimes release games that had really poor approval rating for people that played it, and then they released a bug fix later. And this would be another title that's like that. Yeah, but you can see it's a title I want to keep playing. I want to keep moving on. So I'm going to say 4 stars of all the games you could play on a home computer. The horizontally shooting game, we've seen lots of them. A lot of them play kind of like Defender. This one's playing more like you're exploring a world. And how long does it go? How far can you get until you get to the center of the world? I want to know, and I want to continue to play it. Love it. All right, so after that, let's see what our next game is. Time to go back to the arcade and play Zektor. Oh man, Zektor is another fantastic game. Let's take a look at the advertisement flyer. The brand new release of Zektor. There we go. You've encountered Iridonus? You will not take it from me. The bewitching graphic faces and chilling voices of alien robots dare the player to liberate the 8 cosmic cities the robots defend. Now comes Zektor, the player's ultimate journey into a totally new realm of video game cosmos. Never before has a challenge been so great. Man, they really give these advertisement flyers so flashy, right? Gets you all hyped up. And we flip it over to the back, and he gives us a few screenshots and how to play the game. Zektor challenges the player to recapture 8 cosmic cities that have been seized by an evil cadre of alien robots. In order to liberate each city, the player must defeat 3 attack waves of enemy fighters and robo-probes, which fire lethal zigzag-shaped zizzers at the player's ship. 3 types of moboids can bounce, spin, or explode the player's ship. The talking male and female robots themselves can be neutralized between rounds by firing through slotted tunnels in protective revolving barriers, kind of like Star Castle. Another reference for Star Castle tonight. There's the example of the arcade cabinet for Zektor and the control panel. All you need to have is, hey, another spinner. It's a spinner night here. We got thrust and fire, very similar again to asteroids. There's the controls, and then the arcade marquee for Zektor. So cool. Oh, nice. I like the artwork. And then, of course, the face that's going to tell you what's up. Here's the manual for Zektor, done by Sega Gremlin. So we have game concept. They're going to tell us what it's all about. As usual, these manuals for the arcade are pretty technical in nature, showing you how to set it up, make sure you got all the pieces and all that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we don't need that part. Game concept. It's a 1- or 2-player game that tasks you with the liberation of 8 cities that have been seized by the evil cadre of alien robots. Defeat 3 attack waves of fighters and robo-probes. In addition, we'll encounter 3 types of moboids. Green ones, blue ones, and red ones. After you defeat 3 attack waves, the alien robot holding that city will reappear within rotating protective rings through which a slot shot neutralizes that robot, awarding the player a bonus ship and advancement to the next round. And it breaks down the point values of all the rounds, and when you've lost your last ship, it's game over. Time to go to the arcade and play Zektor by Sega at sometime in the summer of 1982. Oh man, I'm excited for this one. So this is the full spectrum of what you see around your CRT to play. Bask in the cool colors and the glow, and even they have the instructions down here at the bottom for us, telling us how to play, kind of what we read in the manual, just a little bit, because it's a fairly complicated game. Looks really similar to games we've already seen in the arcade, and this is kind of an amalgamation of several arcade games. It's Star Castle from 1980, it's Space Fury from June of 1981, it's Omega Race from 1981, and so
needed to defeat alien robots.
Oh yes, they're talking to us again. All right, so I'm going to zoom us in so we are not staring at the border the entire time, but you get the idea. Now let's go. Look at the sharp vector graphics, man. I'm already going to rate this higher because I don't want the vector graphics to go away. I want to be able to play them forever. The attract mode's telling us what the moboids do. There's a blue one. That's the green one, and then the red one is the one that sucks you in, yeah. I think so. It warps you to another place. Wow, take a look at the color vector graphics. It's fantastic. If I saw this in the arcade, I'd already be putting quarters in just because I love the color vector graphics. Zektor. All right, putting some coins in now. They break down the point value. That's
So
nice.
you've come to take a cell back. You'll have to fight for it.
He's talking to us.
Approaching.
Wow.
Green 1.
All right, so this looks and feels really like asteroids. I have my thruster, I got my fire, and then I can move my ship around. But this one has the nuance more than asteroids where you have the spinner. So you got a lot more control on how you turn and move around.
Defense green 2.
So you move, like, but having the border around the outside really reminds me of Omega Race.
Approaching. Defense green 3.
Don't let the red moboid get me. Oh, man. Loving the sound effects and the explosions.
Approaching the city.
Here we go. We're going in. Oh, I almost had it. Now we have the outer rings, very similar to Star Castle, and you have to break down the defenses to get the shot at the face in the middle while dodging the missiles that come at you.
Ah, another warrior attempting to regain Betos. You will not take it from me.
And it also shows you the difference between quality of voice at this time. Going from Victory by Exidy to this one. Man, this is so much fun. It is really difficult to do a live show where you want to showcase a video game for a few minutes if the video game is really, really good. I've had people ask me, what are you gonna do when you get to video games that take, 40 hours to complete? How are you gonna showcase that for a few minutes? I don't know. I have no idea. Because right now, wait a second. Yeah, right now I don't want to stop playing. I want to just continue to sit here and play arcade games for the remainder of the night because it's so much fun. I love seeing the video games change and evolve. Man, the sound effects getting better, sound, music getting better. No, not the red moboids. So, check this out. This game has excessive fire mode. You can fire non-stop, and whenever you fire again, it just cancels out your other shot. Ooh, we're going in. Nope, don't take me out. Oh, we missed it. So if you're not fast enough...
My world now. Prepare for battle.
So cool with the different faces that come up. So the fire mode's interesting though, because if I just continue to fire really, really fast, watch. It will... let me just go really fast. Yeah, you can get your shot to be closer to you, but just send out a volley of fire. So really loving the firepower on it. That's cool. Man, it's awesome. Game over, player one. Is it going to let me? Oh, yeah. You have to use this. Wait, I wasn't done. Oh, so you have to move, I guess hit a different button to move to the other side. I'll just go by CAA. Man, Sega hit another one out of the park.
Take a cell back. You'll have to fight for it.
And now I want to know, what are the other cities? What are the other faces? What's next? There's more. And I want to know what the more is.
Approaching defense ring 2.
Really shows you how influential Asteroids is too, because this game is playing very similar with that concept of let's put some gravity in, have a ship that can move around, moving left to right. You have a thruster. Well, maybe I shouldn't say Asteroids, because it's essentially taking from the very first game, the one we played in 1971, which is called Space War. It's the idea. Let's fly around in space. Man.
Approaching the city.
We're going in. Now with the talking, it does sound like Proto-Sinistar.
Another warrior attempting to regain
If you
Betos.
lose your chance, though, it just goes right to the next face and you get to fight someone again.
Approaching
Yeah,
defense
this is Sega, but it does feel like we're playing Atari. Wow. So there you go. That is Zektor, another game that I just want to continue to play until a few more hours from now and not stop playing. Of all the games that we'd play in the arcade, I got to give the nod to this one as well. I got a soft spot for color vector-based graphics. The controls are fantastic. We're using spinners, which work really well. It's more fine-tuned than you could play for Asteroids, and I guess it's your preference. Some people prefer the buttons to move left and right, but that fine-tuned control to move around is really, really nice. 4.5 from Errol, 4 from Curtis. Manley's going 4.5 as well. Yeah, I'm still going to say it's one of the best arcade games. I wouldn't say as high as 5, because this is pretty much formulas we've seen before, kind of like Asteroids. There we go. Zektor's final robot isn't a robot at all. It's the alien from Space Fury. No way. Spoiler alert, Mikey. Come on. We'll still say 4.5 stars of all the games you could play in the arcade. That is a blast. And sadly, we got to leave the arcade, stop our video game playing, but tune in next episode where you must prepare yourself and create a capable party for the most anticipated follow-up of the video games for the entire year. That's it for today, and like I always say, be sure to copy that floppy. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are Perpetually Retro, and we will catch you next time.